When is the last time in D&D you thought of the spell Illusory Script? I'm willing to bet that, if at all, perhaps once as you skimmed the spell lists, but I am here to tell you that I have a strange application. Arcane Traps. Or, to be more particular, fake arcane traps. Remember that glyphs, enchantments, and so on are often placed in worlds with ancient tongues. Maybe you could even mix in real ones amongst the many secretly harmless you've placed. If traps aren't your fancy, then perhaps a twist on Illusory Script's intended use: forgery. The spell is designed to either obscure or alter while it's in effect, but I noticed an interesting stipulation: a different message by a different hand in a different language, with it saying that you must know the language you're changing it to, but interestingly, not the hand. The hand, I suspect, is meant to be nondescript, but it doesn't say either way, does it? Perhaps you have someone's handwriting in mind. Even if not, there's one last aspect that I enjoy immensely: the spell's ability to cover itself up from all but the most scrutinizing. To illustrate this, let's paint a picture. You're attempting to frame someone else using Illusory Script, and for the sake of this scenario, let's assume you already have anything and everything you need to make this happen. Of course, the spell by itself doesn't stand up much to scrutiny: a simple detect magic spell, and some knowledge of Illusory Script as a concept, and your plan is foiled. That's where Magic Aura comes in, known as Nistel's Magic Aura for those that know their history. This spell allows you to, among other things, mask the magical signature of something to appear non-magical. Some suggest that Detect Magic can see Magic Aura while it's doing this, but I personally argue that that interpretation of the interaction makes the facet of the spell completely useless and ridiculous to begin with, so I interpret that it can't, at least at my table. While rendered to look non-magical, but still being so, now with 2 layers, this presents a new and interesting conundrum for your would-be investigators. Dispel magic, as a spell rules as written, requires that you have a spell effect to dispel. Without seeing it, you may be limited depending on your table, but let's assume for the purposes of this that they can do so without actually seeing the effect. Theoretically, that implies that they are shooting blind at effect number 1 or effect number 2, meaning that, due to Illusory Script making the message disappear if dispelled, these investigators have a 50% chance of destroying their own seized material. Of course, all of this assumes that past the magical forms of security, your door is unlocked. It needn't be. Surely a master such as yourself has heard of, if not used, cryptography. Now, yes, you could make your own as a player, but let's assume you don't personally own that skill set, or don't want to use it. Fear not, the Feat Linguist will save you, allowing you to spend time making a cipher with a decent DC required to decipher it. That or magic, which we'll get to in a moment. All of this combined means that your investigators get past your magical security, and then they have to contend with the mundane security. Should they still have the tools to do so, I would hope that you would have already escaped the scene of your would-be crime or done whatever you believe needs doing. Now, any well-balanced spell has some weaknesses. First, if your target has True Sight, the weakness of all illusion, you're out of luck unless you've got some seriously impressive homebrew magic items or something. Second, while it doesn't require concentration or something ridiculous like that, it does have a duration, 10 days to be exact. Meaning that if your enemy knows what they're doing to this extent and believe that they have the time to, they can just wait for your spell to disarm itself safely. Lastly, if they do everything I've described and get to the cipher stage of your defenses, then they're down to using magic to assist in their deciphering of it if they're carrying it. All of that is meant to illustrate one thing. While there is no impregnable message defense, you can layer enough defenses to where only the most scrutinizing have even a chance. Even to those who meet the criteria, it takes a varying amount of time to peel away your defenses, and knowing that, you can exploit it. Consider that even your arch-enemy deciphering your many-layered defense was all a ploy to keep them somewhere else while you get to work. As just one example, of course. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into Illusory Script, a highly underrated first-level spell. I neglected to mention that this is also a ritual, so if you have the time to spare your spell slots, you can. I'll keep posting shorts while I work, so like and follow if you want more, and comment down below if there is a spell or ability you might want me to cover. Upcoming videos include an overview of third-party material that I use from my games, as well as a video going over the maximizing of your chances of success at Save or Suck spells. Until then, remember that your Dungeon Master gets final say over anything you get, say, or do. Take care.